So this we will be grateful to as well, not only to Scarab for actually giving us the game, and you know, without that, without us getting the game, without his support, we probably wouldn't have stuck with it. Because as you can see here, I tested my luck. It's very reliable. It will crash in about 20 minutes. Every fucking time. Can you imagine how frustrating this was? It was insane. And well, I'm a little bit uncertain where exactly that was fixed, but this is like 8 years ago, and you can see the beautiful old UI. It's darn old. But in any case, so am I. Yeah, we started playing it early on, but the crashes made me kind of quit or play it extremely rarely. But I don't know what it was, but eventually it got fixed and it didn't crash regularly anymore. And at that point, we started to play from the depth for real, if you will. Like more seriously, just not casually, but you know, actually trying to build complex things. And I started out trying to make some Viking ships and stuff like that. That's how I started building stuff in From the Depth. And then it just escalated. And since I already were making a lot of tutorials for other games and tech and all stuff like that, obviously I wanted to make some tutorial for From the Depth as well, because I felt that there was some lacking space to fill out with my tutorial making style there, aside from the in-game tutorial being absolutely abysmal. They're better now, but they're still kind of abysmal. We should make a video about me going through the tutorials, see if I learned something. Well, I just guess it escalated from there, basically. There was a lot to learn, and like this year, I've started to look into breadboard for a change. The game keeps me hooked because there is always new things to learn, and it's pretty interesting. And of course, thanks to all of you who are watching and engaging with the channel as well. That's obviously also a really big thing will require. If you want some more From the Depth content, look at the Relaxism and GMODISM's GMODIST channel, my secondary channel, for some extra videos as well. But that's basically the story how we got started. We got gifted the game. A lot of our then subscribers and people in the Empire of GMODISM were just being really helpful and positive, and that made it so that we stuck, and eventually I learned enough to make tutorials, and you know, I like to think that I'm getting a little bit better each year at least, but I don't know. That's up to you to say. And now I have been dropping in here at well, 3,260 hours, which is great. This is not totally representative. I have accidentally had From the Depth running this past 2 weeks at least 2 times when I went to go to sleep. So, you know, there is that too. But yeah, I've been playing From the Depth a lot at my free time. I have some backlog of content to make too, so there is that. Well, in any case, I enjoy it much, and I hope you're enjoying these videos as well and all of that. If you wanted to know how I got into From the Depth, now you do. Other than that, this is your host Eric, and we are signing out with a paper replica that's, I mean, with real me. Well, you find links to the other channels there in the corner where the badges are. If you want to support the channel, you can go to gmodism.com/support. You can join the Ecclesiarchy, you can join the commissioned officers, or you can join the government. In any case, thanks a lot for watching. This is your host, signing out. Well, hello. This is your host, Eric. You're watching GMODISM, and I felt I had to tell you a little bit about why most of my series have been a little bit lacking and have been a little bit on a pause for the latest amount of weeks. This is because of the Sword of the Ecclesiarch fleet, which we should look at in this little episode. Here you can see the motto for the Sword of the Ecclesiarch. It's Latin, Igne natura renovatur integra, and it basically means through fires nature is reborn. This is the first vessel which were developed for the Sword of the Ecclesiarch, and it was first a co-build with Graver, who is seeming the project now, but it's actually moving over to holding or helping administrating the thing this is made for. Now it's me. We got the Chaplain General Witch Doctor, and we got the Engineer Robot Stellar helping us build for this little sub-faction. Now this particular build is mostly Graver's work in its shaping, and then I've added many things to it, so that we built. But anyways, we should be looking at the full array. And well, there are some ships to look through here, so I'm not joking around if you think I've been a little bit busy with these things. So that's why we had a little bit low speed of production for the battles, no new tutorials, slow for the builds for Ant Or 2 and the other commissioned officers. Yeah, this is the reason. Sorry about that, but I hope you will enjoy this little fleet. Anyways, so I will showcase the different ships here. We have some adaptations, like the Croquette ship here, but made for the Sword of the Ecclesiarch. So we got bigger diff guns on this thing, and some missiles as well. The Army of GMODIST Sword of the Ecclesiarch does have its own logo, which is of course accessible on the homepage if that would be a thing. But we got some missiles and some diff guns and stuff like this. Just a little auxiliary build costing just 18,000 materials, so not very expensive. It can better be seen here. We got the Sword of the Ecclesiarch, so we got the AOG gear. We got the motto here, Igne natura renovatur integra, and we got the flame around the sword here. That's our logo. In any case, here we can see the Misericorde class hydrofoil flamer. So Witch Doctor built this little hydrofoil flamer thing, and our Chaplain General Witch Doctor is in effect the deciding function of the Sword of the Ecclesiarch, because this is built for something called the Promethean Directive, and it is basically a tabletop war game like Risk. You know, I talked a little bit about the library before, if you saw that, and it's a little bit like that, but it's actually what library was inspired from, and it's not cancelled because library is cancelled. This has already run a season. It was very popular and very big, so this is like a big undertaking to participate in this. Like, you can't basically participate yourself, and there is a lot of spreadsheets involved, like a lot of spreadsheets. I won't show them to you today, maybe in another episode if you wish to see that, but yeah. This is pretty cheap too, 34,000. Flamethrowers are something we like due to our motto, through fire, the world is reborn. And yeah, Witch Doctor built the bulk of it, and I added some details, some more engines, like the engine. I really like the engines we added here. It looks like they're part of the design. Added some extra missiles and stuff like that. So basically, someone builds the design and someone else goes through, checks and adds or removes some stuff that may or may not be good here. So that's kind of the little teamwork we're having here for each of the builds, really. This is our cargo plane. I don't think we are going to use it for a while though, because we decided to not have all the technologies that may be needed. But you can see if we remove the mimics here, man, this is like basically mostly cargo units. It is a thick plane full of cargo, like minimal anything. It's like wood actually. And this beautiful little design was built by Graver. I just add a few fixes. I did basically nothing to it. Just boring stuff. But it works. It's pretty fast too. Anyways. So the Promethean Directive, being a tabletop wargame, includes a lot of different factions. It's of course too late to join it now, but if you really think this looked like a cool idea, you can join it next year. It will probably be held next year as well, I hope. A lot of participants, and yeah, it's definitely a large undertaking to hold this event. So big thanks to Mizar Luke, who is running all of this on their free time, and to everyone that's helping making it possible as well. We got a lot of ships here. I think we want to start perhaps with checking out like some smaller designs so we can move up in size. We have some land designs as well, which I feel we may need to look a little bit at as well. So yeah, what I think is that... Where is this now? There it is, the Hermitage class scout patrol boat. Yeah. So we got like names like Hermitage, Abbey, Cathedral, types of names for them. So the Ecclesiarchy of GMODISM is, as you may know, what I decided to call YouTube members, which is a little bit funny. So for many of these AIs, you can see we have actually names of people we're supporting. So we have Elevated Dolphin, like there. We got Elevated Matros Halofo. We got some cadets like Austinwell and Lieutenant Rick Brell. We just have some mix of Army of GMODISM commissioned officer supporters and people in the Ecclesiarchy of GMODISM at YouTube memberships, just for fun there. Anyways, the Hermitage class is a very tiny boat, just 10,000 in cost. It's probably pretty weak combat-wise, but honestly, this is mostly a scout ship that I built it for. So it's not like really built to be this insane battle boat either. It's really not what it's supposed to do. It is supposed to get in early, like frontline. It can deliver some damage with its cram cannons. We do have a small little gun here in the back as well, but that's about it. It will share the position of the enemy and stuff like this, so it will be able to provide some targeting information, and well, in general, it's just built to be sent out there and detect stuff that may or may not want to be hiding from us. It looks nice. So yeah, you will definitely recognize the Merops attack plane, but well, I basically made it almost only missiles. The original one is like much cheaper, so I made the missiles a bit longer and added cool daggers to it and some other deco. And then our chaplain general has set this thing up to be much more evasive. We may need to hold some battles between this and the previous version at the GMODIST channel, so subscribe there if you haven't already. We have some extra content over there. Anyways, it's this is super cool. It's like so cheap, so few blocks, but it's yeah, I like it. I'll just enjoy it. Like these little small daggers, I'm also satisfied that I managed to make them. It's not hard, but I thought it was. Well, in any case, the official story is that thousands of years in the future, the galaxy is under existential threat, and only one organization can save it. The Promethean Directive was established to run war games of an unprecedented scale at the Alderson disk known as the New Cancun, to prepare millions of military and civilian leaders for the wars to come. Yeah, and the out-of-character explanation is a unique multiplayer war diplomacy simulator for the video game From the Depth. And a lot of text. I'm going to tag the Promethean Directive YouTube channel in this video description if you want to go and see what's happening there. I think you can join their Discord and just ghost it as well, I suppose, to have some limited understanding on how it's progressing. Possibly. I don't really know. Other than that, otherwise you could join next year. Yeah. Oh yeah, so the Hermitage class, the scout ship, that is my creation. I think someone may have fixed it a little bit. I'm not sure entirely. This is also my creation. It is the Oratory. This is a burner corvette. It's really funny with these turrets because they don't only look like they have engines. Like these guys, they actually have engines. If I can go on these turrets here, there we go, you can see it has an engine. If I remove this, we have less engine power. So they're not really, they have lower priority because they're not very efficient, but yes, each of these flamer turrets are self-sustained. I think I call them Delta Corp, like trash incinerator or something like that. They're not held in high regard. But yeah, so that's the thing. For the Sword of the Ecclesiarch, as a sub-faction of the army of GMODism, we have a little story as well. So basically, in ancient times, the empire of GMODism, basically then some kind of historical version of me, the Lord High Admiral and Ecclesiarch Eric of the army of GMODism, of course, made a super like secret task force called the Sword of the Ecclesiarch for obvious reasons, which were to perform some very secretive and important missions in the world, then to find important information and stuff, and establishing a civilization there on this Alderson disk, aka New Cancun, was obviously a very important aspect, since there are some very secretive and important information to be gathered there. However, when the Sword of the Ecclesiarch were traveling to get there, their version of their Omnius Prime copy, the AI they brought with them, got damaged and were having some weird output. The time went on, and since the Sword of the Ecclesiarch force lost contact with the general empire of GMODISM for a really long time. Well, stuff became a little bit weird. Stuff evolved in a little bit of a different direction. The old AI and communication to the empire of GMODISM unit, which was damaged and was instead starting to be called the machine god. And well, after a while, some high priests just took over the sword of the ecclesiarchy and ran it as their civilization there on the Promethean directive for a really long time, and it's just been left alone. Now recently, the ecclesiarch, which is I, were reinstated, recontact was made thus, and the sword of the ecclesiarchy is under the empire of GMODISM's control, which is really high time, and the plan all along, of course, because now stuff is moving about in the Alderson disk, because, well, shit's going down. And that's why I'm here, and that's why our chaplain general, witch doctor, and our engineer Rob Stellar were all there to make sure that stuff doesn't go haywire, right? This is the Sky Crusader class air monitor. I believe that Rob Stellar built almost all of this, and then me and Witch Doctor just fixed and added some stuff. I added a lot of diff guns to this thing to make its survivability a little bit better. And I think, yeah, well, we all checked out each other's designs and did something on them, right? Anyways, this will just sit in the sky and output damage. It has a little bit of an evasive problem, so having all of these interceptors, of course, added to the cost a little bit, but it, of course, is worth it to make it survive, but it's not as cheap as we wanted it before. But it looks nice. Yeah. It's not one of our most min-max designs. We have a few of them. Here we have the Sanctuary class frigate. It's pronounced, I think. And this thing is, well, I don't know how good it is in terms of the damage output in comparison to our other designs. I think it's built mainly by Witch Doctor. I'm not sure. Oh, whatever. I'm not really sure. But anyhow, I added some stuff to it. We all did something on it. It's super cool. I added like more defensives and stuff like that. You can see this thing looks super beautiful. It's super nice. Add a little flamer here in the front. Other than that, it's VLMs. We have lots of details, and inside this hole, you'll have to appreciate this hole here. It looks super holy. Very nice. Well, we have so many designs. We'll just need to go through them, right? We have, well, maybe we should look at this on a land, but it's not too much to see, to be honest. I fixed my old howitzer and made a version for this. It looks better. It does. We have some added weaponry and stuff. Oh my god, it's loud. So yeah, we got just a few land units. We can go down with the land units directly here. This is a beautiful tank built by Kevin, but I totally butchered it and made weird things with it, so it doesn't look as cool now. I'll have to show you the proper version later. It looks amazing. This is like a botch job of it, but that's to make it legal as a contestant for our faction, right? But it's nice to have a tank. It's definitely our best tank. We also only have one tank. All right. Anyways, the previous was the self-propelled gun Lancer 1884 howitzer, and this one was the main battle tank Leon. And we all try to make names that are somehow related to the Sword of the Ecclesiarch theme a little bit there. Now this one is really cool. This is the Bristleback class mortar metal clad airship. And this is Graver's really beautiful design. It is a helium airship, and well, look at this thing. It has a huge array of cram mortars. Look at them. We have, how many barrels? That's 16 barrels of cram mortars. And they're incendiary as well. Not mostly. Yeah. Anyways, this little telescope tower looks absolutely amazing. I almost want to destroy the magic by clicking, basically removing mimics. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. But man, this telescope tower looks so cool. I had a lot of, well, interception and stuff to it, but it's looking really great. Well, oh god, here we have this thing. This is the extremely insane Army of GMODIST Sword of the Ecclesiarchy Abbey Fortress. Now, Graver made some really cool cathedral looking designs in the beginning, but our witch doctor has made this insanely like beautiful. Look at this thing. Look at this facade. It's absolutely amazing. Look at these details, like around the doors. Like, how many layers is this? It's absolutely insane. Well, it looks absolutely great, so I'm not complaining. I was just looking at this in awe, adding loads of diff cans, smoothing out some details, adding some worthless shit details, flamers and stuff. And this is like Witch Doctor's awesome detail. The flaming sword here. It's not only the sword of the Ecclesiarch combined with the motto, Igne part of the motto in specific, but it's also draw some references to King Arthur and the sword in the stone. It's very cool. And we have big crams. Crams looks like some kind of cathedral tower by itself. I added a lot of exposed ammunition here. That's actually ammunition. And these little things, man, it's so many cool details here. And the crazy thing with this is that it has like a full interior. Look at this thing. I kind of want to like go here IRL somehow, and then we can like go out there and we got some diff guns to shoot down incoming target. And this is like a beautiful mimic cluster. Basically, this is like no solid block, it's just mimics made by Setup for the AOG a long time ago. Well, this facade, look at it. We even have a little poster and stuff. Well, we have so many things to go through here. Now, this is absolutely insane. This is the Cathedral class heavy artillery cruiser. Yeah, this is big. So this was I think mostly mean like Graver built like all of this, and I added some shit later on, and did some interior armoring, fixing things up, making turrets not die, and stuff. But as you can see here, Graver done basically everything on this thing. It was where this little telescope tower was built, and well, it's beautiful, and we have this super ambitious interior here as well, looking pretty great. We all try to keep to the theme, but that we have some small differences just makes it feel so much alive. Yeah, it has diff guns and a insane big gun here in the middle. It is, as you can understand, a very scary railgun of 500 millimeters, shooting a pen depth AP frag shell with oh no, why do we have 2 emergency ejection defuses? Well, that's wrong. Well, whatever. Why did I not notice that when I fixed it? I'm seriously wondering. Oh no. Well, we did a little crash there. That wasn't intentional. Man, this thing looks evil. So yeah, this is the very scary min-maxed airship. This is really cool. It doesn't only look scary, it's pretty classy cool too. The Igni class absolutely fire nukes anything. It's absolutely insane. I mean, this thing is crazy. Costing $250,000, it is an expensive one-time fix, but a bit of a one-time fix it kinda is, because this thing just gets in close and unloads insane amounts of incendiary shells at pretty slow speeds. Like, man, it just ignites things permanently. This is thus called the AOG ZTMC Igni-class Incendiary Bomber Metal Class Airship. Very cool. Don't mess with that. And Graver made this Terax pattern drill, which is a really cool little concept. We're gonna have a little testing video here, but I just tinkered around and could make a version that almost deals the same amount of damage for about half the cost, just fixing some interior bits. But it is a little bit slower, so we also made a standard drill unit. Not to speak about the land drill unit, which I started on. This is a complete abomination. It needs to be updated. But you can probably guess where it's gonna go. It's gonna go on land. If we're invaded by a land, we can send out that. It's very scary. Alright, so we don't need to look at all of that Innovator class. No, we don't really need to do that. We're probably gonna forget something anyways. So anyways, here we have the Flying Commandment class air monitor. This thing, together with the ship I'm gonna show you later, has been developed and built to possibly be able to be our main big production battlecraft. That is basically to be mass produced and deal most amounts of damage. Both our designs are Sandblaster base design, and this is Robot Stellar's version, which is flying version that deals very good amount of sandblasting action. Really cool looking turrets here too. I really love these ones. That Robot Stellar made with like some parts and stuff going on them. They look very cool. This man though, just like about to fall out of there. there we have, that's that one. Okay, now before we look at my little version there, we're gonna go and check the defensive airbase fortress. So our witch doctor made this insanely cool little main defensive base. It's only costs 177,000, and it does have some flamers, but most notably it has so many TEDx pattern drills that can just be spammed at the enemy to like great effect. These drills deal insane damage. We seriously have to have a test video over at the GMODIST channel, so check that out now. We also have a lot of the attack planes here too, getting ready for action somehow, that can be spawned and well, sent into combat. But man, Witch Doctor did a real good job there. I haven't basically added anything. Well, and then to before we look at that, we're gonna save the best for last, right? So here we have the Cerebro class assault drill carrier. Obviously, to carry these drills into action, we need an assault drill carrier. So this unit holds 3 drills, and well, they will just be launched as well, jet dive bombers, except they won't move away. They are like diving and killing on contact, especially with these flywheels attached inside. They are very scary. So yeah, don't let them come close, basically. And about what I've been working most on, we had the real need to get something really strong. So the light cruiser, the Renovateur class light cruiser, can't speak anymore. Inside the game there are some reductions of materials, so this one costs almost 300k in the spawning game, but it does cost 250k resources in game, which unlocks it so that we can produce it in factories, which will be a better, cheaper way to do it. This, however, is the only thing which I can say I've really spent a lot of time on perfecting, because we need this to work. And even though I try to perfect it as much as possible, Witch Doctor went into all of these guns. The Vigoletta Marksman, this is a new version of the Vigoletta Marksman. It's actually rail assisted. And we have these one, the Fort SA Sandblasters. The ammo has been changed on them because they needed more accuracy on longer ranges, so they use Sabofin Fin. And the Vigoletta Marksman is a little bit more how it was before, but still different formulation, faster shells. We have a lot of interceptors going on here, and they are really quick. They are from my intercepting empirical testing videos too, so you can see it. And of course, I made a little sword in the top here. This one, of course, has some interiors as well, as they should have. I just got stuck and spawned too much time here in the interior. Look at it. We have like a Lexing, a like list of quotes from your GMODIST and sayings and stuff as a book form. We got some cool guns, setups, little ship in a box. I even had the new like ironical poster I'll need to produce and print somehow. Yeah, I guess I just had fun with it. It is a beast though. This thing is a beast. Well, I guess that's basically the sort of the Ecclesiarch fleet as it looks right now. They do crash into each other, even though we set them up not to, but well, what can you do? Did I show you this interiors? Well, you'll see it sometime. But I think it's pretty cool. We're gonna see how this little war game will go for us, but I hope it will be real fun and that we'll want to rejoin as the Sword of the Ecclesiarch to participate multiple times. But yeah, that's also the story behind the Sword of the Ecclesiarch. How did we get? This is interesting. Well, that's basically the story of the Sword of the Ecclesiarch. A little isolated. Oh man, I'm fearing the game will crash if I don't stop doing stuff like this. Anyways, that's the story. Our little task for getting isolated, corrupted computer, which is then the machine god, and the high priests being corrupt, and well, we're trying to clean up this just before shit's gonna happen, to be able to get something out of this mission at last indeed. Well, that's the Sword of the Ecclesiarchy for the army of GMODISM's participation in the Promethean Directive. Link to their YouTube channel in the description, and yeah, subscribe to GMODIST channel too. Well, I'm not in this state of showing myself here, so we'll have to suffice with the paper replica. Well, I hope you enjoyed checking this out, and as said, GMODIST channel you can check out here on the cards on the upper right corner. If you want to support the channel, please consider doing so. A big thanks to all in the Ecclesiarchy of GMODISM, of course, and to the commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM. And with that said, I think we should be turning off this little video and keep the suspenseful action which is soon to be unfolded for another time. This is your host Eric of GMODISM, and we're signing out. We're coming back with a normal series soon. But this is the reason why it's been drawing out a little bit. See you. GMODISM. Well, hello. You are watching GMODISM channel. This is your host Eric, and we're back with a little video with a little update. I actually intended to post this video yesterday, but here we are. So yeah, it's a Monday, and I have now updated the files for the commissioned officers. So that means all Patreons get the updated files. It's kind of a big change. I did restructure the entire folder structure. Actually, let me show you. So the folder structure is now completely different. I revamped it from like scratch basically. And you can see I include a underscore before each name, so that means every folder has changed the name. If you're a commissioned officer in the army of GMODISM, I suggest you remove, like re-download all the files, just remove the old files and replace them with the new ones. That's the most simple things. A few items have been removed, but they're kind of not important, so maybe you want to save a backup. But just to let you know, if you're a commissioned officer, definitely do a complete re-download, because the new structure is much better. It's much easier to find stuff. And I applied this to sub-objects as well, so you can see the readability here is just so much better now. So that's a big tip for all of you, to have an underscore before and after. That way the like brackets won't collide with the names, so the readability will be a lot better. Anyways, as many of you know, I am making this big fleet to tackle the Nether. And I played this game since like 2015, and it was long ago I even made an attempt at the campaign. At that time I thought it was kind of hard, but then I just got interested in min-maxing, so I actually have no idea how hard it is. Now the fleet isn't completely done yet, but I figured it would be a fun idea to just showcase to all of you what ships we have currently in the fleet, how they look, so that you basically know a little bit more about the style in the army of GMODIST. And just for fun, I just wanted to take a little look at all of the ships, because I recently took a little look at them all. You may notice this. What is this, you may ask? Well, you know the decals I have been complaining about that they don't work because my Imgur collection got, I don't know, reported or whatever? Well, you see this? gmodism.com/media AOG whitemark. I'm self-hosting the images now. All of them. They're self-hosted. Can't remove them now, Imgur. Take that. So yeah, that took a long time to like fix all of the decals, upload them, host them on the homepage, make everything work. Yeah, I moved the host. I moved the homepage to a new host I haven't used before. So they basically offer some better speeds and stuff like that. I set up like some Cloudflare DNS protocols and whatever, so that it will be the image files and everything will be like internationally accessible the best way possible. I did work hard on this. Hopefully it works. It seems to work so far, so that's good. And of course, I have not only updated the Army of GMODISM officers files, I have updated the Steam Workshop files, because you can imagine that this thing, the Gimle, all the images were like replaced with some Imgur this file is missing stuff. So for each and every ship that used the Imgur images, that's basically all of the ships, I had to redo it. I had to repost the images in all of the holoblocks one by one. And you can imagine that took some time. That means that I have updated the existing file on the Steam Workshop page. So if you're subscribed to any of my assets, like the Gimle class or other ships, you need to re-download them. Unfortunately, From the Depths doesn't have a useful Steam integration at all, so if you want to have an updated version of a file on the Steam Workshop, you'll have to just simply re-download it. So anything that you might have subscribed to on the Steam Workshop from me, please re-download it and save over the previous file, and you will get the working image files. Also, some very tiny hidden small fixes that were some small issues on various ships I have been fixed too, but they were kind of, I didn't bother writing them down, so yeah, re-download stuff, thank you. And that will be quite splendid. And while you're at it, do leave a 5-star rating review on the stuff you have downloaded from me, then I will be very happy. It's fun. Anyways, about that, do like this video as well. That helps a lot, of course, it helps the channel. You may have noticed there have been a little bit low on content lately, and if you're interested about that, I posted some messages on Discord and some video explaining that a little bit as well. So we're back now, it's the most important part, so yeah. That's the more important part. So I'm going to continue making the videos. That means, of course, continue on the Yamato project. I'm so sorry we have so much delays in the Yamato refit project, but you know, sometimes stuff happens, and yeah, at least we are continuing on it, so fear not. In any case, I think we should be checking out the gmodism.com homepage. It is not 100% done, I'll need to fix a few things more, but it's basically done enough, so I would like you to check it out. I really try to make it a fun and new type of experience to go to this site. Yeah, I don't know if you will think it's fun. The house you go to home, of course. Sorry about that, return is just backwards. Anyway, so I have a completely different navigation. I built the site using some plugins from scratch, basically, so it has a lot of custom CSS code. Man, I think I may, as I always do, I tend to spend a little too much time on minor details, but hopefully you will notice that. So here we have some like current news and stuff, so that's cool. You can click on get in touch, so you can go to like our subreddit here if you want to, and that's in a new tab. Yeah, you can even like join our Discord here. You can even like send a contact email, and you can go to our like X page, it's not called Twitter, if you want to have some updates and stuff, because I made it so that my like videos, when I post a video, it gets posted on X as well, so it doesn't matter if it's a Twitch stream, a YouTube video, or if it's from any of my 3 channels, you'll get a notification there, which can be pretty smart. And if you haven't noticed this, the YouTube community page is a good place for making polls and stuff, so I do a lot of polls there, so if you didn't know, you can check it out. And I also listed some official but less used accounts here. Of course, the Steam one is pretty used, but I have other links to my collections there. So here we can see some other like shortcuts to our channel's commissioned officer, the Imperial store. Anyways, if you go here, you can go to the support page. So here you can join the government of GMODISM. I did set up this new support option, and this is like the best support option for me. It doesn't offer as many integrations. So what this basically gives is if you want some like discounts on our store, and if your most important thing why you want to support the channel is like general support, this is the best option for me, because this one basically takes very little in between money. They don't require many percentages like the other options on YouTube and Army of GMODISM on Patreon does. So that's really cool. So if you want to give general support to the channel, well, this is the new place. And if you want to have member recognition, well, I'm gonna set this up so that you will get a member recognition every video. So if that's most important, check out that. We have the, whoops, clicking on OBS now. We got the, well, the Army of GMODISM on Patreon here, of course. Yeah, and we got the ECCLESIARCHY. And that's of course YouTube, if you want to join YouTube like that.
So you want to become
like overvoicing myself. And of course, we're gonna get back to a Twitch stream. I feel I always say this, but honestly, I really want to. So obviously we have like a Twitch sub option here for those that are most interested in the live experience. Yeah, and then we got like 2 our different stores like this, where this is of course the most important one, but this store honestly has some of our, according to me at least, coolest projects with, you know, the desk mat here, which is nice, and the flask. Yeah, that is not available. It's like a specialty store, but the things that are here are nice, I think, especially the desk mat. Anyways, there is of course like the donation options too, if anyone wants that. There is like that. Yeah, but please like check out this site yourself. It would be fun if you could just take a little look at this site and say what you think, because of course I spent a lot of time on this. We got a new IP to our Garry's Mod server, by the way. And here's like a list to all of the different assets that anyone can get. And naturally, the Steam Workshop downloadables. Oh, I just uploaded the Gimle After Party, by the way. So if you have struggles running the Gimle because it lags too much, this version, while losing against the Gimle in single combat, it's pretty strong and it has so little sub-objects. Captain Y refitted it like a good while ago, and it was participating in a special tournament, and that tournament didn't allow a lot of sub-objects, so that's why it happens to be a very low lag. Yeah, so that's fun. And to finally get to it, here is the Army of GMODISM media asset library. So here you can see we got all of them uploaded, looking pretty neat here. So obviously I have listed the link to them for simplicity. but you can always just click on something, just right click and copy image address, and you'll get the image address. You can use it in from the depth, so that's pretty neat. We listed our content here on nice little slabs like this, so stuff like that. But please check out the homepage and tell me what you think about it. I would like to have some feedback before I consider it done. Yeah, okay, so I didn't mean for this video to be like a showcase of my homepage, like that much. Maybe I'll cut some parts away, I don't know, but anyways, hopefully you like it, but do please check it out. I didn't mean to spend that much time on it though. I guess half of you aren't watching or not even watching anymore, but whatever. Let's proceed and check out the army of GMODISM's fleets. Ooh. By the way, I have started to work on the Mark III of the platform. It's super secret, work in progress right now, so I won't tell a lot of details about it, but it's gonna be pretty cool. So here we have the folder with the fleets. So these are basically all of them are available for the commissioned officers, of course. I can't upload entire like folders of fleets, however, to the Steam Workshop. I can make collections, but I can't upload them in a pack like that. So a lot of these vehicles are individually uploaded to the Steam Workshop if you want to check it out. The Sword of the Ecclesiarch, that is a little special force, which I won't show you right now, but basically me and another person in the AOG, we will be participating in the Promethean Directive, a minigame thing. Or not mini, it's pretty complex, but it's basically from the depth-based board games. More info about that later. Not for the faint of charts. Yeah, funny. GMODISM, that's not really funny. Right, so we're gonna start off strong, or at least expensive, not really strong. This is the really big super battle carrier. This is the build we built for Admiral Wani Ryujin a long time ago. Our first admiral in the army of GMODISM, if I recall correctly. It does look cool. It's really big, and it's not particularly super strong for its cost, because I admittedly wasn't that great at From the Depth when making this. So it is slightly better than Draconia tech, I would suspect, which is not epic, but of course it's acceptable. It will hand anything. It will have all of the in-game designs, it's as, of course, naturally. It also costs 6.5 million. Yeah, so it works. It's pretty hardcore, but hey, it looks cool. And this super battle carrier's name is Ryujin then also. It carries a lot of attack swarmers. So this is the storm attack swarmers. This is like the fleet lead that basically takes command and has some support weapons that actually marks out the targets to help these guys, the regular wingmen here, deal the damage. They're equipped with a big diff gun, so they deal a lot of alpha strike damage. So the thought is that you're basically swarming the enemy ship with a lot of diff guns. The armaments we got here is mainly, what is it, 5 really big railguns. These railguns are kinetic railguns, the best type of railguns. They're absolutely very scary. They're very scary. On the side we have a lot of civ systems, diff civs to be specific. We got some big lambs too. We got interceptors, we got basically everything. We got interiors, we got flak cannons here in the back. We even have a little separator attached drone. So this drone will disattach when there is an enemy and will basically provide better aim points for all of the connected targets. So that's a little fun mecha thing we got here. We got this crazy huge missile turret as well that delivers very big missiles straight into the face of the enemy. Scary stuff. Well, we got a little super fun thing on this also. When we actually have an enemy. Now, I'm a little bit afraid that it will lag a little bit, but let's just spawn a tiny thing so you can see it in action. Oh god. It lags so much when all of the ships are launching, but when an enemy is detected, the bridge is retracting. My god, my game, I fear my computer will crash. Okay, I removed that thing, because if I think a little bit more closely, it actually doesn't, it's manual. Yeah, there are far too many lights on this thing too. Maybe I should do a Mark II someday. Anyways, what we basically do is we click a button and the entire bridge will retract into the safety of the innards of this ship, which means that, you know, the captains and admirals and rear admirals and commodores and everyone that could be aboard this ship is safe and sound inside the innards of the ship and not exposed up here. Oh, and another thing that lags super much, video screens that gives a live feed of the ship. Yeah, so this ship has some cool interiors too. It's on the workshop, it's updated, so you can download it and check it out if you are so inclined. Oh, and it's really cool that this thing is like, you know, not docked by a docker or things, stuff like that. It's actually attached physically to the ship when not in use. The only issue is that it doesn't reattach automatically. You'll have to do that manually here with some buttons. But that works. Well, give it up for the Ryujin, a super battle carrier that desperately needs a less laggy version. But perhaps you have a supercomputer that's better than my laptop, and if you do, feel free to have some battles with it. Next fleet or force is moderately exciting. It's like my more recent saves of my very old adventure mode attempts. Yeah, so you've seen them maybe. So then I participated in the Newbie Rumble 17. So yeah, I played the game for some time, but I couldn't participate in the Newbie Rumble because apparently you're not considered a noob if you haven't participated again like previously, which I hadn't. So they have some special rules which my ships could definitely make more use of. So they were not set up the most optimal way. I did rush them a little bit, and I did honestly put most effort in to make sure they look nice. Then I upgraded them a little bit later as well. So these are rebuilds of the Reed class light cargo cruiser. And well, they didn't make it that far in the tournament. They had some issues and stuff. Yeah, they spent, yeah. I think EMP was banned in the tourney, but they are still EMP proof and stuff like that. I upgraded them a little bit afterwards, however. So I kind of like these rebuilds. I think they are, I actually don't know if this is better than the original Reed class. I probably need to check that. Yeah, in any case, this is the Reed light cruiser. So it's the Mark II of the Reed, and it's then a light cruiser. Then we have a rebuild of the Mark II light cruiser, which is of course a carrier. So this is the Reed carrier. It's significantly cheaper. So this is 112,000, and this is 73,000. It offers much lighter armaments. It has a cram cannon that has timed fuse, so it's like a cram cannon, 180 degrees, I think it was. And then we have the adapted, because it wasn't legal, but my quick adaptation slash fix of this beautiful bomber, which you see from the trial season 1. And so nobody forgets, it is built by Jono, Matros second class Jono. Submitted this design, and it was one of the better designs. So that's why it's earned a spot in the Army of GMODISM fleet, and now we have it on top of here mounted. This is an adapted version, however, because we needed to make it, well, abide by their tournament rules. Yeah, and these are not exactly the ships that participated in the newbie Rumble. Good to know. But just slightly fixed, upgraded version of those. So I'm actually a little bit curious. So I spawned the Lead Class Mark 1. This is a cargo light cruiser. So it actually also doubles as a cargo and mining ship. So it has like miners, so it will passively pick up materials when it's not in combat. And it's a little bit updated, so it has some neat interceptors and stuff like that. Yeah. So I actually don't know which one of them is better. The Mark II does have a rotating decoy that will confuse missile and missiles, mostly, that are radar guided or heat guided, and will also confuse lasers if they target the hot blocks onto this instead. They will not deal a lot of damage to the ship itself. Ooh, the Mark I Reed class is a bit more powerful. I think, if I recall correctly, the upgraded or fixed version or for the tournament doesn't have shields or stuff like that, because I think it was banned or something. Not 100. Well, I had to change some stuff to make it weaker anyways, that I know, so I'm not surprised by the results. Then we have the Holy Metropolis Protector fleet. These are insanely large, the S. Davidos. Here we have the after-party version of the Gimle, which you can check out on Workshop too. The S. Davidos is also updated on the Workshop. Oh no, I spawned it in as lightning hoods. Well, in any case, just to check out a little bit quickly, we have Captain Y made this super funny thing where they kind of clean up this messy party. And other than that, it looks very similar, but a lot of the turrets, like this one, is actually not a real turret because it's very low on sub-objects and stuff. Well, so this is like the lag-friendly Gimle. This thing is my thickest battleship to date. This is the S. Davidos Mega Super Titan battleship, basically. It's a super battleship apparently, and it looks like crap. I know, it's only made to be somewhat effective, and then I hastily tried to deco it a little bit. Yeah, but it's really strong, and I'm not sure, but I don't think it has ever lost against anything that has a higher cost per that has equivalent cost. I don't think it has ever lost against anything that has equivalent cost. It has defeated some really big strong ships by well, Suzu likes to build really big ships, so we fought some of the ships she built, I think the Juno and well, an array of ships anyways. It's pretty strong. It's not very interesting to look at though. Just has some cool turrets, that's all. But if you want something extremely strong to fight, I would recommend that one. Then we have the Constabulary of GMODISM, which we built for Admiral Scooberox. So this is the State Trooper observational drone, or a reconnaissance drone. And this thing, I think it looks pretty cool. It's of course not super strong because it's not able to be that evasive, but its main function is actually to provide and share aim points and stuff like that. which it does pretty neatly. Then we also have the officer, which is a very small little jet fighter, and I'm actually gonna upload these to the workshop independently because I feel they deserve independent uploads as well. Not to match it against anything that may in particular be matched in any regard, but just to see them in action. You can see they are making a mess of this, and here we have the beautiful laser controlled missiles from tubes like that. It's just doing its thing, vibing in the sky, firing some guns. Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. These like black medium distance rockets feel really cool. Like the menacing black smoke is just a nice little addition. Very nice. What is uploaded to the workshop, however, and now updated as well, so we are using working decals, is the constabulary main items. The deputy sheriff, which is a completely super scary thing that will dive in and deal insane amounts of alpha strike damage. And the deputy sheriff is essentially a real big alpha strike system. It contains a big charge laser and a charge plasma system and has some funny quotes in context, and it will just go close to the enemy and unload. It also has some diff guns for auxiliary firepower, a constant stream of incendiary missiles, some bigger torpedo combo missiles so that it can also target submarines as well. And yeah, it also has a sign movement, so it bobs up and down when we have enemies in the vicinity, so that it's less likely to get hit. And then we have the sheriff, and the sheriff is the main thing. This is a carrier, a super battle carrier. It's a lot of big guns naturally. The main systems are actually not these ones. It is the plasma cannons right here. We got some pretty strong plasma cannons. They are really expensive. This ship is really expensive. It's 4.2 millions in cost. And that's of course because we have so much plasma. We've got side charge plasma systems. We got diff guns here. We got a lot of laser outputs. And some really funny stuff here, because of course in From the Depth, most enemies are actually AIs. So the thought is that the incarcerated or extracted AI cores they can just be stored in a shelf like this when they have been picked out of the vehicles, so that we can take these brains to be prosecuted. Isn't that neat? But of course, we got some traditional dungeons inside of here naturally, if we would meet something that's not an AI. I got a little bit lost, but here they are, simple cells. Got a pretty fancy big bridge here with some controls and a lot of mood interiors. And naturally it carries the fighters and stuff like that. And I don't know why we started a battle here, but we're not gonna start battles with everything, naturally not. But of course, it will do short work of the crossbones, that's for sure. And now we get in here, getting some action with this Alpha Striker that also has some revolving blast guns. Yes, of course, because when things are burning, they're a little bit weak to that stuff. Very neat. Yeah, and this is just constantly outputting plasma and laser damage. Very scary. It can be debated how good it is for the cost, however. I haven't made proper comparisons. It's 4 million, but it definitely loses against the S. Davidos, which is 6 million and very min-maxed. This is looking pretty neat, you see. See, it goes up and down like this to avoid cramps and stuff. Tries to, at least. It's pretty slow because it's very big. Or I wouldn't say slow necessarily. This big thing goes at like 80 meters per second, so you know, I think it can go faster actually. 100, yeah, 100. Well, that is the constabulary of GMODISM, however. Then I think we're gonna check out the very tiny first chapter Wasteland Domination Force. Now, this is my early collection of stuff to use in the what is it called? Ashes of the Empire. But then I've also heard that the Ashes of the Empire isn't great. I don't know. I hope it is. But so I made an outpost. It's pretty long ago actually, but it's fun. It's an outpost. It's a small little station. It looks cool. It's neat. It's an outpost for the Wasteland campaign. It has a cram cannon as well. I don't have a lot of vehicles for it. I did make a howitzer, so we got a howitzer here, a cram howitzer. Very cute. And then I did put the Captain Wise bomber, or a version of it, inside of here too, just a little bit adapted to deal with this type of land. So I think it looks beautiful, so I wanted to have it somewhere, even though it wasn't among the best performing ones in performance-wise, but you know, we had to have it somewhere. So yeah, that's the tiny first chapter of Wasteland Domination Field. Of course, he be thinking it's loud. Now, then we have the fifth chapter, Intergalactic Industrial Expedition Force. This is a readaptation, cook-up of a lot of previous designs to put together some type of participation. It actually ended up with a lot of forces, but whatever, for the library. So the Great Library is a, or should I say was, I don't know, a basically like a easier version of the Promethean Directive. However, it is, well, I guess the people that are running it don't have as much experience as the ones that are holding the Promethean Directive. So it's a little bit understaffed and the rules are a little bit work in progress. So I don't know, the Discord seems pretty dead. I don't think it's... I hope it will continue, since I did put together this, but it's been dead for some time now, so we'll see if the Great Library come back. But we got the forces for it as well. So I think that holo shields or like projector shields were banned. So basically all my designs that are submitted to it have the shields removed, so they're weaker in that regard. Some designs are actually better. This thing is a good bit more quick actually, I think, than the original Croquette, so that's cool. We have some adaptations, so for the Filke challenge, Setup / E-Lord, maker of the Turtle Lord, made this beautiful little version of the Filke, and I just had to take some interiors and stuff like that and upgrade the looks of this. Among a lot of interior assets Setup also made actually, but I made it look a little bit more neat, so threw that in there. In the Great Library I got that perk, I got the fun perk which makes it super cheap for me to spawn ships that are built by wood 40% or more, which basically had me look deep in the folders. So we have another Filke participant, which is Alyssa's Filke version, which is pretty neat too. And we even got, let's see here. Okay, we don't have any more of them. We have one work in progress one. But anyways, we got a little upgraded version of the submarine. We got the Flygfisk Patrol Diver going strong there. So it's basically like shieldless designs of the previous ones. We got the carrier here, the Reed class Mark IV. And the Reed class Mark IV, that's basically a little bit cheaper version of the Mark III with no shields and stuff like that, so it's actually less good. But you know, we have to name them properly. Let's go there. Now this one gotten into the water, unfortunately, so I guess we'll need to help it out because I spawned it there. But we have the flygfisk. No, this is the balloonfish. I'm so sorry. This is the Explorer Mark IV. So this is a little bit upgraded actually. This is much better than the previous one. It even has a little propeller. It not only relies on sails, it has missiles, so it's much more heavily armed. And it's, well, a little surveillance balloon, which probably should be put in the main fleet for the Nether campaign as well. We got the upgraded version of our Type A fighter. So it's a big wooden fighter that has gotten a facelift, you could say, with some nice decorations and, well, adhering to the rules. I also took one of our best fighters in the Trials Season 1. By the way, Trials Season 2 is coming soon. It's gonna be a real simple challenge, more about that later. But I took the beautiful Mantawar by Matros Kovrax in the army of GMODIST, and this was absolutely brutal, super strong design. I have been looking forward so much to use this design in the library, where we just spawn a bunch of the send a bunch of this to like attack bomb somewhere. That would be beautiful. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened yet. But in any case, Kovrax made an absolutely beautiful design out of this. It looks amazing, and all I did was adapt it so it would adhere to the rules and be basically only wood, so it would be super cheap for me to make. Right. I made a service droid adaptation of the observer drone, the state trooper. So this is basically a repair and rearm version of it. It carries material and it can repair and fix stuff. That's basically the difference. It doesn't have shields. Yeah, very nice. And we got a little version of our helicopter as well. And this is the Chopper Mark III, to be specific. Also, they have their own little adaptation here. They got their own version of the of our little fighter here. I should actually put the Officer Mark II versus the Officer Mark I and see which is best, because it uses a different strategy. I'm not entirely sure which one is best, but this thing actually contains sticky flares instead of chaff to confuse radar. So it has active decoy system instead. So yeah, we need to put them against each other. Not really worthy to display, but this is the work in progress mobile base for the Great Library campaign. So yeah, it is what it is. All right, Officer Mark I from the Constabulary Peacekeeping Force versus this, the Officer Mark II, which is from the Great Library. I guess we can just spawn them both and see which will... Oh. Well, that's fast. Well, the original wins. Ooh, I think they banned EMP. EMP is great against small aircraft. Well, now we know. So that's basically the 5th chapter Intergalactic Industrial Expedition Force. You know what? They hated the name. I can understand that, but I like long names. So, last but not least, obviously, we got the 2nd chapter. Yeah, 2nd chapter Frontier Fleet. I know that. I guess I just can't speak, you know? I had a little bit of a hiatus on recording, so I think I probably lost my ability to speak somewhat. In any case, the 2nd chapter Frontier Fleet We'll need to find some deeper water, man. This is like shallow. This will not... It can be funny. It's gonna be funny. We can spawn it here anyways. Well. Look at the poor thing. This is the broadsword battleship. It's really tall. It's really low tech. It's not one of my most recent Minimax designs, and it's mostly made to look decent, which I think it does. It needs to go somewhere, however, for it to stay at a nice, pleasing level. Now, we didn't spawn that in our own fleet, so that's a little bit unfortunate that we don't get the exact colors that we use, but it's pretty cool. It uses broadside, a lot of broadside cannons, not like a lot. And obviously, even though they're many and small together, they deal some decent damage. Probably would be pretty easy to take out with interceptors, but whatever. Most in-game Craftons have interceptors. And yes, this thing is bad, but yeah, it will actually work decently enough against many of the in-game designs, so that's nice. Then we have the Aerobics Mark II. Mark 1 is deleted. This is a jet fighter that is pretty good, to be honest. It moves so janky, it's really hard to hit. It usually wins against many of similarly priced Steel Strider designs, and definitely works against the Deepwater Guard. Now, I'm not super happy with the design of it anymore, because I kind of upgraded or changed my style at least. You may think this is cooler, I don't know. It's up to you. But it's pretty... it works. Then we have the funny Filke class destroyer from the Filke battles, which is a super funny design because this thing will actually jump up and down when incoming fire is coming there. Compared to many of the participants in this little mini challenge, it's of course really bad. A lot of you GMODists out there, you are so much better on building stuff than me, and I'm happy for that, because then we have really cool challenges we can make with cool designs you submit that are just so much better than whatever I put out there. Yeah, so the Filke was a wooden boat, and the challenge was basically make it decent, and people did. We got two versions of the chopper, the Mark II, which is anti-naval, and Mark I, which is anti-air. Different configurations, they're very similar, but they basically have different setups. The anti-naval version here, obviously, has torpedoes, and the anti-air doesn't, you know. It has anti-missile missiles. And no, anti-aircraft missiles, AA missiles. Oh, and one of our good old battle participants, the Draconia. My first battleship that were made to be half decent. It's half laggy, that it is. Half decent can be discussed, but it holds up. It holds up. Naturally, it will, obviously, deal with all of the in-game crafts that I tested it on. Maybe some new have came that are better, but it obviously delivers great result against the in-game stuff. It's described as a killer baby seal for obvious reasons. It is equipped with a not so good APS, some really scary laser systems, and some really funny like interiors. It's like a mini city on top of it. A little bit inspired by Philip Reeve. I think his worlds are super cool. If you don't know who Philip Reeve is, Google Mortal Engines. Yeah. To spice things up, we're gonna spawn a paddle gun. Because paddle gun is funny. Well, in any case, we're gonna continue to spawn in some stuff here. Oh, this will be unfair. Well, whatever. I made, for fun, I just thought, why not make the broadsword fly? So I did. I made it fly. And it does. This is the broadsword air battleship. I think it looks pretty neat actually. I'm very happy with the looks of this thing. As it's a naval variant, it's not great by any means, but it does what it's supposed to do, which is look pretty neat. And I'm particularly happy with like having on-board engines like this that are just there to look neat. Yeah, I think it's nice. I think paddle gun died, unfortunately. Well, we have the crossbones in the background instead. I'm guessing crossbones will do short work against the air battleship. And while we're at that, we're going to continue to show the second chapter Frontier Fleet. These are missiles for another submission you'll see in a moment. Balloonfish Mark III. You saw the Mark IV, so this is basically the bare bones version of it. Now I don't know why it does acrobatics in air. Oh, it's too far high up in the air. Yeah, it's not set to go that high, so it will just fall until it reaches a nice altitude. So yeah, the Balloonfish Explorer is not great for seasick or like, I don't know, airsick. How to say that anyways? Yeah, I don't know. Roller coaster sick people or well, enlisted in the army of GMODISM it would be. Which you should be. If you're not enlisted in the army of GMODISM, you can simply go to our Discord and apply the role and you'll join the army there. And if you basically want to be an officer in the army of GMODISM, well, Patreon is there for you. And we should actually, while spawning in the subby anti-surface, which is a really sad thing to look at, so we're gonna continue and spawning something else. The Carver class hydrofoil, obviously, because that's what we built for Lieutenant Gravy. So that's fitting. Anyways, huge thanks to Commodore Owen, Captain Sebastian Dode, Captain Shiro, Lieutenant Ant-Aw, Lieutenant Gravy, Lieutenant Flores Dragon, Lieutenant Joseph Vyshkovsky, Lieutenant Parberg Reed, Lieutenant Vincent Veritas, Lieutenant Rick Perel, and Lieutenant Scooby Rocks. Thanks a lot for your continued support. It really helps me a lot because the income from our supporters, be it the commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM, or if you're watching this video as a YouTube member, you're in the Ecclesiarchy, all of you that are helping, and of course the government of GMODISM that nobody joined yet, so that's you know, but it helps a lot because it keeps the continual like expenses the channel has to pay up. We obviously need some services to make it all fit together, and the homepage and all of that stuff, and to stream I obviously need battery internet, and all you supporters help me keep this thing going really well, so thanks a lot. Man, but the air battleship is no joke. Obviously it's not great against anything that will shoot at it very effectively, but just because it's kind of bad, it's also kind of big. It's 1.2 million, so it's no joke. It's no joke. Ooh, and here we have the Merops Interceptor, which I made very recently when I just started to build, and I realized, how small can we make a fighter? So this thing is, to be exact, this large. If you look at the blocks without all the fancy stuff, it's this big. So it's kind of small, as you can see, and I think it runs pretty well, to be honest. It's nice. I like this thing. I'm very happy with it, and it will be uploaded to the workshop pretty soon as well. It's also 2.8A materials, so much cheaper fighters you won't find. Do remember that most of that cost is actually the small missiles. If we remove the small missiles, actually, let me do that. Get over here. Ugh. Oh, by the way, if you look at the aerobics here, you can see this thing is 220 square meters big in effectiveness, and it's 21 meters long, costs 8,000. That was my previous tiny fighter. Now this thing is just 19 square meters, so you can see this is like a tenth of the volume, and it's like more than 2 times, it's like half the length as well. Yeah, so that's fun. And I'm going to upload that to the workshop soon as well, so you can get this little beautiful thing. And I'm actually gonna make an even smaller fighter plane, because I can do that if I just utilize my breads and use a jet fighter type of setup instead. So I'm gonna see if we can make it even smaller. But removing the what's this now? Oh, that's the detection. Okay, that's all. If we remove the missile system, it costs 800 materials. So yeah, it's cheap. And here you got the Flygfisk, which is well, not made cheaper or adapted to any rules. This is the proper Flygfisk, built for Lieutenant Astera some time ago, which is a patrol diver. So it's a patrol boat, but it also flies up in the air and it dives down again. So it's kind of both a aircraft and a watercraft. And why does it do this? Because it's a fun idea. It also happens to avoid a lot of missiles and torpedoes. It's kind of safe from many of the types of missiles. It's very few people that set up missiles that are able to go in water and in air. And from all those other types of missiles, unless they're super fast and reaches it before it switches like medium, it's pretty safe. So that's cool. When it like goes upward, if missile follows it, they will just end up in space. And if its missiles follow it when it is underwater, well, then they will just get lost in the water and despawn. And Flygfisk is of course flying fish in Swedish, if you were wondering. Well, the Reed class light cargo cruiser we looked at before, and the Reed class is actually built for our commander, which that was some good time ago, however, so I'm very sad, but I have to check up. I have to remember the name too as well. Yeah, so it was. We made it for Commander Ayak the Boater. We built the Reed class. So Ayak the Boater was a commander, and we built this beautiful thing. And this is a little bit upgraded version, however. And it's pretty strong. I like it. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with that design. Another design I'm very happy about, but I'm not happy with the performance. That is the Fred. So we built the Fred actually for Scooby Rocks. Scooby Rocks was a long time ago a captain before it became an admiral and then a lieutenant. So basically, if you are in the army of GMODIST at a lower tier, if you jump up and join a higher tier, you will get the higher tier's rewards. So you can like jump up and get rewards, and obviously if you have a higher tier and then jump down, you won't get that rewards of that tier automatically, because that's like not very practical for me. Then it's like less support and more work for me, and if people upgrade, it's more support but more work, which is fair. Anyways, to keep things not too long-winded, Scooby Rocks was the captain and wanted something to beat the stronghold. So I made a Fred. The Fred has a very cool setup with a lot of engines underwater. It's so adapted to take on the stronghold specifically. And even though it only costs 700k, it could defeat the stronghold, even though the stronghold was twice as expensive. Yeah, so it has a very cool weapon system set up to deal with the stronghold, in particular lambs. It's keeping itself pretty safe against basically anything the stronghold threw at it. Thing is, however, the stronghold got upgraded. So now the stronghold is much more formidable and like uber scary. So it doesn't beat the Stronghold anymore. The Stronghold is also more expensive. Anyways, this is the first ship we actually used the Vigoletta Marksman cannon on, which is, you probably heard me talk about in the Gimli videos. We already basically took a look at that, but here we have the Croquette, and it's a light, little rigid airship. We got some helium tanks inside of here, so that's why it's lighter than airship. We got some sails hidden too, to provide some propulsion, and we got some engines. And the engines that are on top of this are like tiny. They basically take no materials to run. So it's a pretty slow airship, but it's also extremely cheap. This thing's 12,000, and it carries diff guns, some lighter armaments, and yeah, it's not a heavy investment. It's not a big battle thing, but it looks amazing, and that's the main reason for building it. Or I mean, you can think what you want. I think it looks really cool, but I don't know. A lot of other builders make so much cooler stuff. So for the season 1 of the trials, we got this beautiful pigeon that wasn't very good, however. So the pigeon was made by Scuvimation, our matros, and basically it looked amazing and performed so poorly. So we both actually made our different versions of the pigeon. This is the utility version of the pigeon, so it has some light armaments, but it's mainly a utility ship. And this thing, look at this. I absolutely love this little matros sitting here and reading on the phone. Yeah, some fun Easter eggs, a utility ship. And then I made my version of the pigeon, which is the barbecue pigeon. This is a combat airship that uses a lot of flamers. It's not even cheap, and it burns hard. Yeah, so both of these actually will be uploaded to Steam Workshop as well. I already made some art to display them there by my new template. Oh, and this is the aesthetical winner of the Slabman challenge. So the Slabman was a really bad ship, and I wanted it to be upgraded. So Setup, aka E-Lord, that made the Turtle Lord, made this beautiful stridsjacht, and it's absolutely amazing. I even made it into a desk mat, which anyone can get if they want to, by a blueprint style. But in any case, or I didn't do it, Kevin did it, so thank him very much, because that was amazing. It looks awesome. Anyways, this is a 1 million ship that's looking really great. It didn't win the combat, but it did win a lot of it did win the aesthetical part of the competition. And obviously this is also where Setup designed so many assets in AOG style, like the cupboards and stuff, which we have used on other areas as well. Isn't this nice? It's very nice. And these little diff guns we also have on the Gimli. They are absolutely beautiful. Yeah, it's so nice. I hope Setup will do some more cool stuff from the depth in the future. I think he's taking a little break. This thing has so many decos and so many details. It's absolutely amazing, and I know Setup was a little bit frustrated with reaching the deco limit, because you can see here, if you try to add some more decos, you can't. And it even has this little aquarium of this the rat from the Deepwater Guard inside of it. It's just too funny. Well, anyways, it's absolutely amazing. What can we say? Huge thanks to Setup for sending in this beautiful design. It really is gonna be like the base or the flagship of the fleet, where we're going to sit when we do the campaign. We're gonna exist on it. So maybe less glamorous, but here we just have the Type A attack plane, the original version. So yeah, a little not as cool as the one we just looked at a little while ago. Here we have a, whoops, I'm not sure it can spawn inside of there. Oh yeah, it can. I actually provided balloons for it. This is a hover tank. It's a flying heavy armor brick that does hover tank things. It has a burst railgun, so that's cool. It doesn't have a great evasion, however, so I don't know, it's old. Then we have the bolster repair and rearm. This is a very fast little transport hydrofoil. This was our build for Lieutenant powered by greed. So it was some time ago, but it is a very awesome little ship or little hydrofoil that will just deliver goods very, very quickly. I tried to set up the AI very carefully to not collide and stuff, but it doesn't work. It kind of collides in stuff anyway sometimes, so that's not great when it goes too close to stuff. I guess we'll have to be careful when we use this in game, or we'll have to set it up in some different way. Maybe we can make bread save us. I don't know. You can get this as a like a lot of these designs you can get on the workshop by however. So go into gmodism.com and just click your way to the workshop. Here we got the Lytepost, the Raider Outpost made by Captain Y, because he wanted to make something for the army of GMODIST at a time. So it's a beautiful little station that basically, I never thought you could do this, but it basically uses a big like snooper, or what is it called? What are these called? Antennas. The strategic antennas. So they're just placed with like one block down, 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 and they just naturally make this beautiful shape. So that was absolutely super smart of Captain Y to make there. Yeah, it looks amazing. It's a, well, Raider Outpost to remove fog of war. So that's the only structure we have right now officially. And here's another thing that Captain Y wanted to construct for the AOG, which is the beautiful big transport system. This is the almost 200k Hermod class, which is a hydrofoil with a big like tunnel with propellers in the middle that holds, like, how much does it hold? I don't remember. 7 million materials. Yeah, this thing can basically on its own carry materials to build, what is it? 3 Gimli class? Yeah, it's pretty big. Anyways, it's pretty cool because it even spawns missiles, torpedo or cruising missiles basically, that contains nuclear weapons if any enemy is coming there. So that's a bit fun. Then we have the CH Minuteman. So this is made by, powered by greed actually, for the Slabman challenge, and this was the winner of the performance part, I believe it was. So this is quite decent in performance. It's a cram version, and it does look so much better than the Slabman. It looked terrible, the Slabman. Yeah, it did. The Reed class Mark III we already looked at, and lastly on the list is obviously the Gimli class. You can see a little picture. That's from when I measured the Gimli, so that's a bit fun. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Marauders long roundabout. Well, I think you've seen the Gimli class before, and we did take a little look at it previously as well, but that is our fleets and forces. Well, and there we basically have it. We checked through all of our fleets and forces in the army of GMODIST right now. So now you know what forces the army of GMODIST has, and a lot more is in the making. Maybe I should go through my ongoing projects folder if you want to. I don't know. In any case, we just spawned 2 crossbones to keep it a little bit interesting here while we end this little video. And do check out their homepage so that I know what you think about it, and tell me if there are any improvements to be made, or well, frankly, what do you think about it? I didn't get inspiration for the design's navigation or anything like that. I just basically made it all up. So it would be interesting to see or hear what people think about it. Or think. In any case, huge thanks for watching and do stay tuned. If you would like to like this video and maybe even share it somewhere, I will be very happy. And big thanks to all of you that are supporting the channel right now. Well, the government, maybe right now we have someone there. The ECCLESIARCHY, Twitch subs on there, and as commissioned officers. In any case, this is your host, Eric of GMODIST, and I'm signing out. Thanks for watching. That's our fleet. This is your Admiral speaking. Today we're going to have a little info video thing for all the commissioned officers in the Army of GMODIST and those who might want to become that as well. So you might know that I offer specific downloadable files for all the commissioned officers in the Army of GMODIST. And that is the patrons, by the way, if you missed that. So for the lowest level, it's $1 a month or equivalent in your currency, and it gives you access to the files. Any level gives you access. And I update the file around monthly-ish. I try to up them monthly-ish, but I basically essentially update them whenever I have new stuff in any of the games the files contain. Now, the biggest game on the channel right now is From the Depth, so that's probably what most people care about and the most reason the files are updated right now. Might change in the future though. In any case, basically we have blueprints, we have sub-objects, that's turrets and stuff, we have prefabs, you know, pastable decorations and whatever in this pack. And we're gonna go through all of them. Here it is basically how it works. Maybe I build on a thing, and now this is obviously not done. But when this is done, it's gonna be put in a folder, right? And whenever I'm going to finish a thing, it's put in one of the folders here. Now most of the things will be in the fleets and forces, but we of course also have the platforms. We can check the platforms a little bit too. So here is the standard platform. This is for testing and stuff, and that's of course available on the workshop for public download. Now it can't be that high up in the air, but anyways. We have different platforms. We have a civs testing platform, which is a little bit rudimentary setup here. Just testing some different shells. Some of the platforms are actually my personal tests. So here we have, for example, the 3x armor switcher test. And in this thing, one can select the different buttons, G, H, and J, and then fire a shell on each of them to then determine the penetrative capability of that particular shell at that particular gauge. Pretty nice, isn't it? Right. Then we got, here we have the proper APS tester. That's of course for testing really big APS guns. Yeah. And here we have the battleship armor simulator. So this is just the thickest armor you could imagine. And it has one of these. So we can make this an enemy, which means that we can target this with a weapon on another platform and shoot at it. So if we, for example, load in, I don't know, some test. Now, that's not gonna work very well, is it? But here we have the cram test. And this cram test tests cram cannons. Makes a lot of sense. And by the way, when you test cram and APS, you can reload them instantly by going into the Q menu. Very nice. We also, of course, got laser test. So here we can connect up different modules and explore how different lasers work and how they burn. So the only thing we do here is we just we attach them in whatever pattern, change them up. This is just some example ones. And then we have a weird laser which is both continuous and then pulsing. Pretty neat. Now we spawn this too high up in the air. But we do have a missile testing platform too, so we can test some missiles. Now this is of course testing kinetic missiles mostly, and charge head missiles. Well, you can test other missiles as well, but it's most useful to perform tests with kinetic missiles and shape charge missiles, because that can be a little bit difficult otherwise. And you just connect them up by a block here. Very, very, very simple like this. And yeah. We of course need to have a plasma test as well. So here we can have different connecting canals. We can connect up like this. And yeah, we got some different lenses to switch in between too. I need to stop spawning things too high up in the air. And I made them go super slow so you can really see the effects of the plasma here. Pretty neat, I think. This is a charge plasma setup. And this is a generator setup. So that's going to be... And you can of course go in here and just check the stats so you can see how much they cost to compare them and stuff. By the way, this weird pattern is like the best pattern for charge plasma. Then we have a turret construction platform. And here we have the different templates, T1, T3. And basically, the space around the thing on the text is how it needs to look. So if you go into sub-objects, you have them here. You can see this, we have the T7, and this have the, like this. So these are the different, like, rings. Anyways, all the commissioned officers have, of course, access to, like, what is it here? Turret wells. And here we have the different turret wells, like the exterior. So, for example, for T13, here is like the deck portion you'll need to cover around this. But if you build onto this T13, this green line here, this turret will not be too big to clash into the whole of the template. And many of the templates are of course available under sub-objects. You see them here. I'll just made a lot of like deck armor and armor segment and stuff like that, which can be like stackable and stuff. But again, the templates we'll look at in another video. Anyways, here we can build inside of this to make turrets that are fitting, and we can also test them against this tall target. Since many turrets can be pretty tall, it can be a good idea to have a tall target to practice towards. This is a weird A/B test. If you want to test two turrets beside each other to test the performance, well, we can do that here. Do you recognize these from some videos? You probably should. We got some help from a commissioned officer, by the way, making a beautiful little tester platform, which has even more, 7 different armor slabs to test against. So that can be used too. Very nice indeed. Thanks for that addition. By the way, I click T to fire from all of the platforms. I think it says in the setting on the original platform, anyways, near the... Anyways, you just click the T as in Thor, and you'll fire. Very nice. Then we have this thing, GI structural platform. GI, by the way, is GMODIST Ministries. Anyways, here is a structural platform which can be spawned down close to the spawn. Yeah, here we are. It's kind of built for the deepness of the spawn. So it's above water, close to the spawn. If you just plonk this down, you will have a platform that has no materials and no engine. This can be useful if you want to build engines, see how much they require, how much they take, because the other platforms are of course taking some energy each second, and they are also producing a lot with the steam engines. This is like a clean slate to test engines and stuff without bobbing about on a raft, which is horrible. And we're adding new platforms whenever they come up, of course. Anyways, most of the things are in Army of GMODISM, Fleets and Forces. Perhaps we will not be going through each design in detail today, that will take a little too long time. Anyways, first chapter, Wasteland Domination Force, is of course the in construction force to tackle the Ashes of the Empire is the plan. Now I don't know the volume restrictions. This is a design submitted before by MIA Captain Y, and I imagine it will have a place there. Now I don't know the volume restrictions, so we'll see. The biggest one is the second chapter, Frontier Fleet, of course. We have so many designs here, like the Pigeon Utility by Scuvimation and my Barbecue Bomber Pigeon version here. Pretty nice. And here you can see we even have this thing for Lieutenant Asteria, the Patrol Diver. So this is really funny, or actually I think Lieutenant Asteria may be demoted, or perhaps MIA. But in any case, this is also available on the workshop, but I do think that I haven't updated the workshop versions decals, and I added some deco to this thing as well. So in my private files that I share to all the commissioned officers, of course, all of the most updated versions are available. This is a Patrol Flygfisk Diver. It flies and then dives. Very cool. We have so many things here. We have my only attack submarine so far, which is not deleted. It's not very good. It's okay though. For the cost, it's pretty good. And the flying battleship broadsword class air battleship, of course. Splendid power of the Army of GMODISM. Definitely a worthy companion on the Army of GMODISM second chapter Frontier Fleet. Anyways, you remember the Filke challenge? Well, here is my improved Filke. I've improved it a couple of times after doing a video about it, I think. It's a destroyer. It's pretty nice. Oh, and here we have this thing, which is built for a MIA commander. And that is a medium ship, and it does all sorts of things. It's transport, it's salvage, and it's removing fog of war. Pretty utility, but also pretty combat good. This can be sent. This can basically be sent anywhere, I think, doing most tasks. Very handy. And one thing, our lieutenant powered by greed won a previous the Slabman challenge. Was in one of the winning positions there with the AOG Minuteman. I've updated the decals on this thing, and this thing is an absolutely brutal hydrofoil. Very nice indeed. Oh, and here we have a battle cruiser. The Fred battle cruiser is built specifically to deal with the stronghold from the Onyx Watch. So even though the Fred battle cruiser only costs 700k, it can deal with the stronghold thanks to its strong defenses. And oh no, we're gonna have a collision, aren't we? No? Good. Well, in any case, now I feel things are going to lag a little bit. We have a little too many huge things in the air by now. Here we have the other winner of the Slabman challenge, the Stridsjacht. And the Gimle is part of the second chapter Frontier Fleet, as well as the old Draconia and of course the original broadsword. Here we have the Type A attack plane. It's weird because it's A-Type A, and that's because A denotes an attack plane. So yeah, that's the class. That's our naming conventions. And this thing I actually recently, just a few days ago, updated the decorations on. So it's looking all dandy. Damn, that's an unfortunate collision. Ironic too. This is the repair and rearm vessel built for lieutenant powered by greed. So this thing is a good fast cargo transfer and also repair craft. Unfortunately, we spawned it so it just ran into the enemy and just rammed it. Not the enemy, ourselves, and rammed it. Well, we're gonna clean up. Well, you get the point. Here is the entire fleet. It's not completely done yet. We need to add a few more designs to make the second chapter Frontier Fleet complete. That rhymes. But all of them are here and are keep them updated, and when you download them from the post as a commissioned officer, you get the latest ones there, right? Here is the constabulary. You recently seen a lot of the constabulary, I believe, and I'm pretty happy with the constabulary, especially with the the officer. This is, yes, the officer is a very good jet fighter. I'm happy with it. Look here, we spawned 2 officers and a state trooper to keep the locking on and keep track of the enemy pretty well. It does its air aerobics and then moves forwards, deals some good damage. Anyways, ironically, that got killed real fast. That went so fast. I do suspect they might have collided with each other. Anyways, I repaired this thing. Yeah, I mean, it's the best fighter I made, but maybe it's. I actually do think the officers collided with each other. Probably, I don't know. They should have detection avoidance. Maybe they just got an unlucky shot. I do think they're pretty weak against flag too. Spawned I spawned a bunch of targets here. Now the Geiger has gotten a lot stronger, by the way, since it has upgraded its simple weapons to APS cannons. Anyways, here is the entire constabulary, the battle cruiser, deputy sheriff. We have the sheriff, we have the officer, we have the state trooper, and we have the sheriff with all of the smaller items above, to be specific, 4 jet fighters and 1 observer. So that is the constabulary. Now, the Holy Metropolis Protector Fleet. That is the folder where I put all the horrendously large things and the really big battleships, like the battleship Afterparty Gimli class. I'll try to put all of them inside of this folder, and I hope to basically, yeah, I imagine that the Holy Metropolis would need to be defended by the largest things we have. So for example, the Super Davidos class super battleship is among those, and this thing is 6 million. It's the largest thing I ever made. It is 400 meters long, so it's pretty strong too. And on the Vehiculum Adventurae, we have my saved adventure crafts. Man, this is gonna be big to spawn. There we go. Yeah, so here we have the AUG Venturesome ongoing little what is it called? Adventure mode survivor thing. And we have the seaplane with a little droid hanging around here. And these are definitely not accessible on Steam Workshop. So, like, some of the ships are downloadable by the Steam Workshop, but most of them are not. And I do keep these updated more than the Workshop ones, of course, because it's so easier for me to do this, and I update the folder to the Patreon kind of monthly, or if I haven't made much, then bi-monthly. Then we of course have for our first admiral in the army of GMODISM, which is Ryujin, Admiral Ryujin, and here we have the AUG, his Light Protector Federation fleet. And we have attack swarmers, Mark 1 and Mark 2. The Storm, which has some ACB magic. And we of course have this thing, which I tremble to spawn. So, Admiral Wani Ryujin, the first admiral in the army of GMODISM. This thing lags a lot when in combat. It is a super battleship carrier. And it is a bit of a glass cannon, but it is mostly a carrier. And it has this huge missile turret. And the really funny thing is, of course, the feature to escape with the the entire bridge can escape down into the safety of the center of the ship, which is a really cool feature. Anyways, it looks great. It also lags a bit, but maybe when I get 64 bits of RAM, gigabyte of RAM, we can have some battles. We had battles, of course, on the shell. Check them out, by the way. We had some help recording them, so that's great fun. Well, and more fleets and forces are, of course, being added as they are completed. And the more people who join the army of GMODISM, of course, the more forces I'll have to build. So if you join the army of GMODISM commission as a commissioned officer at a certain level from lieutenant, you can request a craft. And that will be definitely put into these folders. So if you want to have an opinion of what I must make, well, join at the appropriate class and request it. So we're here at the testing platform. We have APS turrets, we have sieves and anti-munition systems, we have cram turrets, we have decoration, we have flamer turrets, we have laser turrets, we have missile turrets, we have pack, plasma, propulsion, simple turrets, tracking and detection. So let's start from the bottom. Tracking and detection. I got some different tracking and detection towers, like this thing here, the mini thing there, we have the ballistic tracker here, and we have the lightweight tracker there. So basically they're set up with different aspects in mind. We'll need one of these what are they called? They're called coincidence rangefinders, right? They're really good for ballistic tracking. So if you want to have accurate cram cannons, you need some ballistic tracker, right? We have directional cameras built in, and also gimbal cameras to really give a good accurate bearing and detection. We have different ones in the different units. And this one is, of course, the most decorated one with a I don't know, watching sergeant standing on top of here, looking through the looking glass and helping us detect stuff. This is, by the way, EMP insulated. So if we just look here, this one is a little bit too tiny, can't EMP insulate it. This one was a little bit hard too. Is this one? No, this is not. This one is, however, EMP insulated, so you can hit this all you want with EMP, and it basically won't take any EMP damage. This one is a pretty redundant thing for EMP. And having a tracker turret, of course, helps a lot with detection, because then the cameras and stuff will be pointed towards the enemy, and will almost guarantee that we see the enemy, basically. And then we have some basic simple turrets. They're super basic, but I use them from time to time. The only thing that's, neat is supposedly the settings, not for that one, or the other one. Yeah, we have revolving blast guns here, and there. And when we have a system like this, of course, we have some mimics, but we also set them up so they won't activate for over 400 meters range, because the blast guns won't work very well when shot from far away. And then, yeah, that's basically that.
Now, the azipods are pretty neat. I use them for most of my ships here. And you can see that inside of here, the power required to use one of these is listed. So it's pretty handy. We have a really big azipod here. This is the one that's on the Gimli. Or is it this one? I don't remember. Anyways, the azipods are really good at providing maneuverability and propulsion. Here we have some of these that are not steam and a tiny one for smaller boats. We do have a paddle wheel as well. This is used on the S. Davidus, so that can provide a lot of thrust actually, but of course it requires enormous amounts of engine power if you want to use them spinning fast. Then we also have a vertical azipod. Now that gets stuck here, and that's of course supposed to be used like this. And it can be placed on, let's place it here actually. Well, we'll have to put it one block outward. Oh well, never mind. It doesn't need that. It's just that it's a fortress, so it won't spin. Anyways, this can be controlled using ACBs, and I have a prefab with ACBs to control them, so that they will pitch forward when you go forwards and pitch backward when you go backwards. We can have some more details about that, but it's basically an azipod for aircraft, right? You can set them up however you want. It's just an azipod. Moving on, we have plasma turrets. So, we got the Belinus, of course, big one. And we have a Belinus Light, and that's because it's alloy. Has a bit longer rods like that. It's not more accurate or anything like that. It's just to prevent it shooting itself as often. And then we have the plasma scattergun. This is a shotgun plasma. We can actually fire them here. The Belinuses are pretty insane. Now the scattergun, this thing, I don't know if it will fire, but whatever. It is indeed a charge plasma system, as you can see here. So that thing takes like forever to reload, but it also deals a lot of damage, right? Well, moving on, we have another charge plasma system. This is used for the. This is also used on the Sheriff, and this is the bomb. It is bomb but plasma. It fires a huge slug. We can check here. It fires a huge slug of 64 projectiles in a... you might imagine it's a shotgun, right? But it really isn't. It fires one big purple charge that deals enormous damage for the size of this thing. It's super slow reload though, and I filled it with some batteries since we require batteries to fire plasma, right? And it's of course supposed to be mounted on the sides of ships and airships or anything else that needs a broadside. It's a broadside cannon, but it can of course be front mounted. The Dominus X, the plasma scattergun. That's a good name, I forgot that. Here we have the Primus Plasma, and this is actually primarily a Civs cannon. That depends a little bit how you set up the these weapon controllers. So if the weapon controller is set up to prioritize over the Civs controller, then it will foremost, I can't talk today, then it will mostly shoot at the enemy and then sometimes at projectiles. And right now it's set up to shoot at projectiles if there are any, otherwise shoot at the enemy. This is a continuous plasma system, so it just shoots streams all the time. It feels like a light sheep gun, but then you realize that it costs 50,000. Anyways. Here we have the Streaks Plasma Mark 1, and this is like 3 tiny shots of plasma. Very cute, but very handy. So it has some pretty built-in redundancy, right? And 17,000 materials is pretty cheap for plasma, and it provides some continuous damage towards some targets. Moving on, we have the pack turrets, and I actually only have one pack turret. I'm not a huge pack fan. I'm not the best pack builder either, but this shoots 3 different shots. They are not synced up because that doesn't work when you copy it over to other things, but you can sync it up afterwards. One is impact, one is piercing, and one is EMP. So of course it's great if I'd imagine that you'll have an impact first and then a piercing and lastly an EMP, but set them up whatever order. Whoa. Wonder what happened there. But this is of course how it should be. Just a nice plasma blast like this. Then we have some crazy missile turrets actually. We have the mallet deck launcher. We have this thing, which is the over-under pneumatic deck launcher. We have the matchbox anti-air incendiary deck launcher. And there we have 2 smoke teasers. They're a little bit boring. But anyways, this shoots miniature matchboxes. Isn't that so fun? If we just pause it here, you can see they are like they are like matchsticks, but missiles, and they are looking like they're on fire too. And they are of course incendiary, meant to shoot at incoming. Yeah. This is a pneumatic system, so this only fires using air pressure. It has no fuel, and it deals kinetic and heat damage. And then we have the, I don't know, did the mullet fire? No, I think the mullet can't fire since it has a closed thing here. But this is like a really big kinetic missile that deals huge damage. Very fun. Then we have the laser turrets. The laser turrets are not having anything on them really. They are just to be connected up to a bigger laser system. They are of course redundant, EMP insulated. We have the classical version here you see on the gimlet.